Alright, I'm back in here at the old OG Steam setup and all that. I tore all of this down, the double multi-block tanks or whatever. I tore them down and I put a super tank in here and routed all of the pipes so they wouldn't connect into the two different steam outputs or whatever. One is for this side for the steam rock crusher. I'm gonna keep this so I can make dripstone, so I can make clay. I got another faster way, but this is a secondary way. And this side right here is going to be for steam turbines. Now what I have in here, all of these different components, this is all components to make 10 steam turbines, and this is the EMI recipe list. So in order to get this, what I have to do is just go over to any block or whatever, and then press this right here, set as default recipe, and then it's gonna show the recipe tree, and then all you gotta do is just right click, or just right click on the different left click on the different components, and then add it to favorites, and I add it to this entire recipe list. And down at the bottom it shows you the total cost of everything that's gonna cost you resource wise to make it. So all of this stuff right here is all what's inside of this bronze crate. And I took the crate from all the way down there at the end of the base uh where the generator coil setup is, and my two EBFs and my two rock filtration multi blocks and all that. The whole purpose of even doing this is for the steam turbine generators. So the way I thought GT initially worked is that once you go up a technological tier, I'm currently in LV, about to go to MV once I get aluminum, then you don't need to go backwards to the previous tier. That's that's really not the case. It depends on what you're trying to do. So right now I'm trying to run two EBFs, and the EBFs are 120 EU per tick. That's per tick. So 20 ticks is equal to 1 second in real life. So if you take 120 and you times that by 20, you can see the amount of EU it costs me. And my current system is 28 million 28 million RF, which boils down to 7 million RF, and then I have two more 2 million more EU within the battery boxes. That's not enough to actually run one EBF consistently without pausing and stop. I can only, when I did the math, I can only run it for an hour and a half if I'm running both of the EBFs, or 3 hours if I'm running one with my current setup. I want to be able to set it and forget it, basically, and not have to worry about stopping, waiting for the I have basically a battery multi block. That's the redstone flux cells. It's a power flower, so it's like it blooms out like a flower, but it's a technique or whatever, strategy. And anyway, that's not enough to sustainably run that. I will have to wait for all the redstone flux cells to recharge, which takes a hot little minute. It takes about 20 minutes to maybe an hour for everything to recharge, including the battery boxes, before I can run it again. So that means I have to turn the machines off or disconnect the power or whatever I need to do. And I can't run both of those at the same time. If I run both of them at the same time, it only equals out to be 1.5 hours. So that's an hour and 30 minutes that I can run it, which doesn't produce a lot of steel. Right now, I just got the 1K, and that's after a couple of hours. So I definitely don't want to deal with that. Like I said, it's an engineering thing. And, caused me to learn a lot more about GT and all that. But that's what the steam turbines are for. The steam turbine generator is it inputs steam, it takes steam into it, and then it outputs EU. So this can produce 32 EU per tick. So I did the math. I made 10 of them. Well, I got the components for 10 of them, and that's 320 EU per tick. By my math, by my calculations. So one of those EBFs is 120. So two of them is going to be 240 EU per tick. Now I made one extra Well, I got one extra that I had from this setup, whatever. That was one of the machines here already. The rest of the steam machines are I broke them down and threw them into the system. I just kept the rock filtrator, and that is going to be 11 times 32. That's an extra 32. So 320 EU per tick. Another 32 on top of that is 352 EU per tick. So that's my little fail safe or whatever. The only thing I need to do is make sure that I produce enough steam to keep all of these powered, basically. So I know for a fact that this single high pressure steam solid boiler is not going to be able to keep all of those full of steam at all times. But what I'm planning on doing is scaling this up over time. These are not hard to make; they're easy to make, and I have the resource that it needs. So it just needs any kind of burnable object. I have a tree farm with like 49,000 wood logs in there, and that's only spruce. I have like 50K of all the other wood types from my tree farm, from running my tree farm, and I'm just sitting on it right now because the entire multi-block vault that I have from Create is completely full. Well, 75% of the way full, maybe 80-90% full, and it's just sitting there, and I haven't used any of the wood for anything. So what I'm gonna do is make a charcoal setup, a charcoal automation setup, and then run that into the steam boilers. I can't make the solar boilers. That's the more efficient way to do it because they're too expensive. They require aluminum, which is an MV material, and I'm not in MV yet. I can't make a comfortable amount of aluminum yet. So this is my solution. So I'm gonna set all of this up. The setup is basically done already. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta make the steam machines and just line them up properly, and then right now I'm in this section of the base. The EBFs are over here at the tail end of the base. So the way that I'm gonna actually transmit the power, I'm gonna transmit it down this line right here, is with Laser IO, which is Direwolf 20 mod. That allows you to transmit power through lasers. So I'm gonna run. You have to basically make laser nodes or whatever. So the power gets transmitted from node to node to node. I'm just basically daisy chain them all the way down there, and they're really small. They're like maybe an eighth of this block, and just daisy chain them all the way down there, and then run them into the steam generator, and it's only gonna be transmitting EU. Hopefully, it's only going to be transmitting EU. None of this is tested. I haven't tested anything out, but theoretically and mathematically, everything works out. The math actually works out or whatever. So if it can only handle RF, which is usually the case, RF or FE, and not EU. If it can't handle EU, that's what I have the energy converters for. The only bottleneck is going to be how fast the energy converters could change the power from one energy unit to another energy unit. Uh, if it's an issue, then I'll just make the biggest energy converter I can make, so I can switch it over. And that's basically that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna disconnect the generator coil from the RF battery, and I'm gonna disconnect it from the battery, and I'm just gonna run this uh, to power the two EBFs just to test it out to see how it actually performs and functions. And if it works out, then I'm just going to save the RF and the generated coil, the power from there, to power something else, power another setup that I need or whatever. And same situation, same scenario, whatever. If I need to transmit the power somewhere else, I'll just transmit it with Laser IO and just keep it that way.